and welcome to another Looney Tunes commentary. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing as it helps out the channel, and give this video a like if you do like it. So this is a commentary for Porky's Ant, released in 1941. It's the 325th in the series, and it's directed by Chuck Jones. You can find this on the Porky Pig 101 DVD set, although the Looney Tunes theme used is incorrect, but everything else is okay, and the restoration is fairly decent. And just a word of warning that this does contain poor stereotypical depictions of Africans, as you'll see in just a moment, although it's not as bad as some films like In Africa Squeaks and that sort of thing. But with me today to watch this cartoon is Blue Genocide. Say hi.
That title card looked exactly like a black and white version of Goodnight Elmer and Elmer's Pet Rabbit.
Yep, and it actually is. Yeah, they just reused it for whatever reason, I don't know. So this one is Chuck Jones's, I suppose, it's his second Porky, because he did one, of course, Old Glory, but I don't know if that really counts too much, because that really was just, they just used a character, they just happened to use Porky, and it was almost nothing like Porky, whereas this one is like the first true Porky, I think, that Chuck Jones has done. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I would say so. It's kind of interesting to finally see Chuck Jones use Porky, considering how later on in his career, he used Porky more than anybody.
Yep,
as a partner for Daffy.
Exactly, because I've noticed with this, up until now, with all his solo efforts, they've all been Chuck's creations, like Inky and Sniffles, your favorite character, of course, the Two Curious Puppies, your other favorite characters, of course. But now it's Porky, and I have to say, compared to his recent efforts, this one is at least decently entertaining. It's not his best, but this one feels more like a Chuck Jones short of the mid-40s. If you look here when he's holding that Rare Bugs book, that's a Chuck sort of pose that you would see him do quite a bit later on.
Yeah, that's a good facial expression, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's done that a fair bit. Also, if you look at the backgrounds, they're getting to be a bit more abstract. They're not quite abstract. I mean, you can obviously see the anthill here and a few other things. But if you look at a few shots, the backgrounds are starting to get less detailed and more like I said, abstract. So I honestly think this cartoon is one of Chuck's turning points. I mean, yes, Dover Boys and the Draft Horse are touted as big turning points, and rightfully so. But this one, I think, compared to what's come before this one, I think it is. I mean, what do you think, Blue?
Well, I mean, compared to what we've recently seen, I mean, it's been said a million times, right? Like, Chuck obviously was going for a very Disney style, and everybody mocked him for it, including his boss, Leon Schlesinger. And, I think he got to a point where he was trying his best and finally said, screw it, I'll go the complete opposite direction. And they're like, no, we don't like that. Unfortunately, that's one of the best Looney Tunes cartoons of all time, in my opinion, the Dover Boys. So it's sad that we never got another one of that. But at the same time, I totally understand the frustration. I mean, they were promoting it. They were promoting his Disney-esque designs when they were doing Old Glory. But as of this point, Schlesinger seems to have completely turned on him and what he was doing. Oh, there's my friend Aaron.
Because, with this short here, as I said, it's sort of like a halfway between what Chuck was doing up until this point, with some of the slower timing here and there, but also part of it's like what he would do very soon, and there's quite a few shots of like speed lines and all that stuff. So I honestly think this one is one of his turning point cartoons. But I mean, guys, you guys watching, let me know in the comments below if you think that if you agree with me on this or not. I mean, I'm happy to see all kinds of sides on this one, but I was expecting just yet another, Disney-esque, maybe Porky short, and then I watched this, and I'm like, oh, actually, I was entertained.
See,
Wow.
that was one of the better uses of the slower. I think that was timed just perfectly. I mean, maybe to some people I was a little too slow, but I actually really appreciated how they timed that out.
And it worked, too. Oh, we got some full frontal nudity here, so I don't know if YouTube's going to allow this video.
Oh no, that's gonna be your thumbnail now.
Yeah, well, gotta have the sex appeal, and here's a dance. It was actually in a Donald Duck short. That's how I know of it. When he's waggling his finger. I mean, if you know what dance that's called, let me know. But like Donald's nephews or something, like Donald Duck.
That's Donald Duck Steps Out.
That's the one. Thank you. You've earned your place in these commentaries, believe me.
Well, I just know that one because I've seen that one like a million times.
Yeah, it's a great cartoon. And yeah, it is a little bit better than this one. But hey, aside from the stereotype, which, I mean, what else can we say about it? What I will say is, if you compare whenever Chuck did a stereotype, like with Inky, or in this case, like this character here with the bone in his head, it's nowhere near as bad as what Clampett, Avery, and the worst of them, I think Freeling was probably the worst of them, in my opinion, whenever they did an African or African-American stereotype. But here it's just Chuck just thinking, okay, Porky needs an African assistant, and he's just doing what was, I suppose, typical of the time. So, yeah. And this would have been cut out on television. Apparently this cartoon has been shown on TV, but in a very heavily edited version, similar to Africa Squeaks.
I'll say I've never seen it until preparing for this commentary. I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, but look at the backgrounds once again. See how the leaves weren't detailed.
Yeah.
Now here they're detailed, but before that, yeah, like I said, this is what Chuck we get to. So, so guys, as we finish this up, let us know in the comments below what you think of this one, whether you agree with me or not about this being a turning point for Chuck, the backgrounds thing, and as we see the ant finally get his or her bone. Very happy. Very happy.
It's a really funny walk cycle.
Exactly. So thanks very much for listening, guys, and until next time, take care.
Boo, whoop.